Welcome to the Barndo Bros Dirt to Done podcast, your go-to show for everything Barndominiums from dirt to done. Join us, your hosts, Richy, and of course,
So
Geoff.
what are we gonna?
So much going on. We are recording.
What are we gonna complain about today in the Barndo world?
You know what grinds my gears?
You know what really grinds my gears?
Is these posers that put out these Barndos for?
You can get a Barndo now, I heard, for like $30,000 and like 5 acres of land and waterfront. I don't think it's real.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
No.
We've been getting all these advertisements recently, and I'm like, who's doing that? And you follow up and you find out, hey, this is not where we thought it was going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So today we're talking about what was the title you had for us? It was
Folks, here in Texas, we call that the bait and switch.
the bait and switch.
man, that's old school, bro. You're going there. You're going way back. Yeah,
I have been known to bait and switch.
I think that
I'm not gonna
started.
lie, but
Didn't that start in the car business?
You've been in you've started in the car business.
Yeah.
we've done some baiting and switch.
There has
I
been.
don't think it's all that ethical, but it is pretty interesting today. Well, welcome in.
Welcome everybody,
Yeah.
Barndo Bros
Yes.
Podcast, episode 2, bait and switch. And we are not the. We might look like the bait, but we're not going to switch.
Which-
That's right.
Oh, we love you, Richy. He's on fire, man. We're gonna reach a shout out to Johnny Lang. 'Cause
Yeah.
we were warming up with that, man, and wow, that was
That was it.
that was impressive, bro. Thanks
That
for
was
turning
like
me on to that.
Stevie
Yeah.
Ray Vaughan had
Yeah,
6 kids.
It's if Stevie Ray Vaughan got radically saved, it's Johnny Lang.
That's Johnny.
Okay.
Oh, he's at the top of my playlist now.
Yeah, you're going. It's the real good stuff there. But we were just talking this morning. We had kind of like a little team huddle, and I was showing the guys these the advertisements that were coming in because we do Barndo business. All my socials, everything says Barndo, so we get pushed those kinds of ads. It looks like we're interested in it, and that's where we were seeing this bait and switch stuff. We're like, this is. Man, if someone's doing that, that's not real, And we followed up and we found out a little about that. What have any of you guys discovered about like that world of the bait and switch and what we're seeing out there in advertisement and what makes us different?
Well, it's hard because then we as builders fall into the trap, and I think we've even had the temptation of saying, "How do we create the tiny teeny bro? Something that's like
The bargain bro.
Do we need a bargain,
the
bro?
broke bro, so that we can
I'll buy
Forgive me, Lord.
we're all selling broke bros. No, we could sell something that people can afford. No, we do have a heart and a market for really teeny tiny homes and sustainable living for kiddos that are young and that can't afford houses. Now, there is a market for that. I don't know if it's the Barndo market. And so
Right.
we do fall in the trap of saying, when you look at these things like for $100,000, and it wasn't even that, it was like $75,000, you get this Barndo in an acre or 10 acres or 50 acres.
Yeah, it's like
Okay,
10
okay,
acres.
okay.
Yeah.
But what's really happening is whatever that acreage is, maybe it is very cheap acreage and not a great area, maybe floodplain stuff.
Maybe you got to drive 2 hours to Walmart.
I mean, you probably do. And
Dollar General.
they're going to sell you a shell, which doesn't really include. So when you see that advertisement, it's not including the erection or the build out of that. You are getting probably a flatbed shell to this new 10 acres you just purchased for the $100,000. It really doesn't get you in a place where you feel like, okay, I'm homesteaded.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to go. I think that's a little deceptive.
I'm gonna adjust your microphone because I want to see your face.
And I think
There you
that the
Yeah, come on. Where's your glasses, by the way?
the mad millennial, he's taking a rest.
He's retired.
I'm now the happy Texan. And I just say I'm in my Texas shirt today, which I think I found in my father-in-law's closet.
Yeah, if you're listening, he has a very gaudy Texas flag shirt.
Yes, if you're not watching this crazy podcast, I'm in a very gaudy, it had to be mid-90s Garth Brooks concert, that kind of shirt with a giant Texas star on the chest. And I'm wearing this for this reason because we are in Montgomery, Texas.
That's right.
And I don't want to segue here, but I do want to tell you that Montgomery, Texas is the birthplace of the Texas flag.
The Texas flag.
Okay.
Amen.
It happened here, and it was birthed by.
Hey, we are a proud people in Texas.
Yeah.
I would not surprise like driving by some city and saying this is the birthplace of Jesus Christ. Like I just that Texas would just say some crazy things.
There is a Bethlehem, Texas.
There is a Bethlehem. So I just want you guys to know we are in the birthplace Texas flag, if that matters to anybody out there right now. But that's why I'm in this ridiculous shirt.
Like Hope, Arkansas, the birthplace of Bill Clinton.
That's right. That's another
The
shirt.
reason I know is
Wear my
you
Bill
drive
Clinton
in and
shirt.
there's signs everywhere.
Hey, we don't brag. We don't brag about that here.
Yeah.
I didn't break.
We're in
the
Texas.
Bill
We're in
Clinton shirt.
Texas. We're in the South.
This is
South.
George Bush country.
Yeah, this is
This
very
is
George Bush country.
Very George. But I just said, not to segue on that, is because we love Texas because there is a little there's an opportunity sometime with land out in Texas that is cheaper. We are taxed differently out here.
Yep.
Property tax is a little crazy, but we are taxed a little bit differently out here, and you can do things business wise to incorporate what you want to do. I feel like my mic.
Yeah, you need to.
out.
Yeah, we got some microphones. Let's
Just
just
having
kinda-
some mic issues.
Here we go.
Jeff likes
Mike.
to turn his head when he talks.
That works,
That's-
and just relax and don't worry about.
Yeah.
We got some good eye contact.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So I just say that there's opportunities to live in Texas and Florida, right? Because there are some better things for building. So folks move out. COVID, we see this huge influx of people coming out of California. People were cut off with house prices and then Texas was kind of wide open. So we saw all this money come out here, and basically it did drive up a lot of the prices on the homes that were pre-existing homes. So that being said, all of a sudden now I'm priced out of this house. So what did people do? Now they decided to go build again. And what did they decide to build? And which is kind of exciting because this is, I don't know, for my generation, I was the mad millennial last time I was on here, but for the millennials that go, dang it, what are we going to pass on our kids? We can build these barndos. Now, I don't think it behooves us to do the bait and switch with folks. So
Right.
I don't think it's good for us and the service that we want to provide to our community of saying, hey, buy this teeny tiny barndo that we're going to send you a shell, and then we've got this acre in the back for $40,000.
Yeah.
I don't think that's really honest.
I think that's part of what I love that came up from our conversation today is always like, we're just going to be continue to commit to total transparency and focus on people that really want good service and they want it done right.
Yeah.
And I love it. Yeah. So there's only the bait, and that the bait is that, but we're real. You're going to catch a fish if you fish with the barndos.
Yeah, I like that.
Next week we'll have advertisements out for $29.99. You can get. We'll be following
Yeah.
the track.
Well, it also makes sense too. Why? Because Jeff and I take a lot of field a lot of our calls that come in. Why people come in with certain expectations. They want, I've got, I have someone recently, a couple months ago, and they, I've got $200,000, and I want to build a 300,000 or 3,000 square foot barndo, and that kind of idea, I think, is not a reality unless you're just building shells and leaving it, or creating big concrete shell, that's possible, but not homes at that price is just not happening anymore.
So let's clarify, and Richard could say this too. We are Barndo Bros.
Yes.
For Construction, a custom home builder.
Yes.
So
Custom barndo.
it's custom Barndo.
Custom barndo.
Yeah.
Really building custom homes. We're not. It's hard because we want to reach our community, so we're doing these 1s and 2s and 3s for building. But the real goal in our life, and we said it last podcast, was to create sustainable communities. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
We're building the future.
Yes.
You know?
I would love Rich if you might already be going there, but you just said sustainable communities. If I get Rich talking about Barndominiums, he's going to go to communities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open that up for us. What does
Yeah.
that look like?
Man, that's a good question, Richy.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there, but to keep it short, is being able to create a community that's sustainable, as you mentioned, that is built around Barndominiums. So the Barndo life, right? Basically, we could even call it a patriotic community, right? Because it's people that have the same vision for how they want to live, their life, their families. And that's what the community is built around. So it's faith, right? Which I know, Geoff, you've talked about in Richy in the past podcast.
We love Jesus.
Yes. Very, very much so. And so, I was speaking with Izzy from Fox 2 Sierra this morning about that, because Izzy, what they do is they do a lot of training for churches, schools, for, basically protection, right? And of course we build safe houses for them, safe rooms. So that's where we partner with Fox 2 Sierra. And so in the community, what we envision is being able to have a community where we come in and not only build the community around making sure that the community is built strategically, right, for safety, right, for sustainability, to be able to do some farming. When I say farming,
ag. I mean,
yeah, not farming like 100 acres of farming, but gardens.
Yeah,
right. So gardens.
How about some
bees.
chickens? Do people get chickens at these?
People can have chickens, bees.
Yeah, bees. Bees are tax exemption stuff.
Correct.
Yeah,
and with a community center, instead of the big pool and all that stuff, right? People can put their own pools in, right? Mm-hmm. But more of a community center of being able to come together. You can have weddings in the community center. You can have gatherings and a lot of teaching, right? One of the things that I've found out in the last, I'm fixing to be 61, and there's just most people don't even know how to pitch a tent. Did you guys know that? Do you know how to pitch a tent?
Yes,
I do by default. It took me a while.
Okay, but that's
I bought one. I bought them out of the box and they come out.
I got a story. I got a story about that, but I wanted to finish it.
But just the simple things: how to start a fire. Yeah. Well, most people, I know how to start a fire, get a lighter, box of matches. Well, yeah, that's right. But what if you don't have that? So there's just a lot of things that can be taught, that can be built coming into that community center. But about safety, gun safety, we envision a gun range on the property, where gun safety can be taught, And so again, having that type of community, because we don't know, heck, it's crazy out there. We've all seen that with what's been going on just recently, right? I mean, there's a lot of people are just concerned about the safety for their children and for themselves. So I think sustainable, strategic communities is a thing. Barndominiums with their sustainability, and how long lasting they are and how maintenance free they are, right? And then they're just, if you've never, I'll look over here at the camera. If you've never been in a Barndo, you need to go in one. I'm not talking about the little Barndo. If you go in a really nice Barndo, it's amazing.
It is. Right?
To go in. We've seen some really cool things, right? Corvettes in the room, motorcycles in the room, 25-foot ceilings and beautiful outdoor. I mean, you walk out and it's just curtains and huge 20-foot windows and garage doors that are glass that go up, and these beautiful outdoor kitchens and fireplaces outside, as well as inside, stone. And it's just amazing. I think there's some of the most inspirational homes that I've ever been in. That's what attracted me,
right?
To them, versus the traditional stick-built home. There's just so much more, so open. And to me, that's so much more lively,
right?
When you just have that, that big, huge kitchen, it's just incredible. Absolutely. So, but anyway, sustainable, strategic community where we can come in and custom build and put a lot of our floor plans out there, build them, that people can come and they don't have to necessarily go through the process of building their own custom home and, waiting 9 months or a year. Our goal is to bring that to pass. What I'm saying? Absolutely. That they literally can come in just like you would a D.R. Horton home or any other big production builder, but be able to buy a custom Barndo and then just put your touches. If you want to put a pool in, whatever, but all, we're going to have, maybe safe rooms, rooms for, storing, extra food, and just, it's just really cool stuff. It's just a lot to come. So
I love it.
Tell me your tent story.
Oh, my tent story. I started camping a lot, like a couple of years ago. I say a lot for me. Mm-hmm. And I went to Colorado, had a great time. And I was interested in getting a different kind of tent that didn't take so long to set up. So I fell for this ad for like the 10-second tent,
10-second tent.
Yeah.
The Barndo and land for $99.95.
Yeah, I fell for one of those, and it was supposed to be like pop and pops up, and it's a whole tent, the whole thing.
He got one too.
The tent and switch.
So it really was. So I bought it, and I should have videoed it because that thing took me like 30 minutes to get. I was like, it was not working right. Yeah. By the time I got up, and then I could never get it back down, and I'm like reading instructions and everything, and I fell for the 10-second tent. So I don't think that happens like when I think of the Barndo communities from my what inspires me about it is the word itself, Barndo community. Going in and seeing that kind of space between other places, having that nice rustic living, and knowing that you're in a safer environment. I'm drawn more to that, than I'll go to the gun range or whatever, happens. Mm-hmm. But it's more to me about like having the kind of freedom that I think we all need a little land, in my opinion. We all need a little space. A lot of us, the life is busy, hectic. It just keeps going and going and going. And I found as I get older, I'm 47. I know I look 32. Thank you guys. but I'm 47, and I'm feeling in my life, in my heart, I want more simplicity. I want more quiet, and being in a place where it's just less noise, and all of that to me is very inspiring. And of course, Barndos themselves are very inspiring. So I think we see some potential spec building too, right, in the future that could happen on some properties where you come and you can tour a Barndo and this could be yours.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just a quick note, we're working on right now this strategic community built around sports. So baseball, softball, soccer with the fields, and then even a training facility with batting cages, basketball, phenomenal. Pickleball, to where the community is an active community.
Yeah.
That's built around the old fashioned outdoors, guys, right?
Yes.
Where we grew up, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have video games and things to play with, so the temptation wasn't even there. We played all day. You know what I'm saying? I was outside playing football, playing baseball, playing dodgeball, kickball, whatever. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And I think we want to bring that back too, is what we're looking at right now, right here in Magnolia, Texas, is a sports complex community with Barndominiums.
Yes.
It's going to be really cool. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about in the future episodes, but that's, I think, going to be happening pretty soon. I know Geoff's got some content on it. We'll be releasing soon.
Richard with the pitch.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, actually, that was on the softball field out there, and that was funny because we'll have Doyle in here, and I right before I said, Doyle, don't worry, I'll pull it, and I hit it right up the middle.
That boy smacked that ball. He picked up a shovel, guys. There's a video on TikTok where we went out there to tour this facility, and it does have massive indoor sports facility, and then 2 big baseball fields, and then we're going to build homes around it if everything goes well. And I was so Richard's old ball player. Richard, we had a shovel. I said, how do contractors play baseball? Just like that guy right there. He had a shovel, and then lobs this ball down. Richard hits it right at his feet. Pow!
He does a dance real quick. I said, man, I'm so sorry.
It's a good video.
I promised him I wasn't going to hit him.
No, that was that old ball man, that old professional coming out. Competitor. Well, I think it's really neat, man. I think we haven't seen these kind of communities come up yet. Now, maybe they're out there. I don't know. I see a lot of content. I've scoured the internet for cool Barndo facts and things, and the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I don't see a lot of communities popping up. And I don't know why, but I know if they were popping up, or the ones I haven't seen, they would sell out.
Yes.
Agreed. There won't be an HOA that decides how much stone or brick you have on the side of your house. These are going to be true Barndos. And again, for my ladies out there that I don't want to live in a metal building, I get it, but these metal buildings have no maintenance. They're literally, their lifespans are double of that of a stick-built home. So you're looking at a 50-year lifespan on some of this metal, not lifespan, but just in terms of maintenance things. Mm-hmm. And they erect so fast, they go up so quick that really you got this framed in, dried in space within 2 to 3 weeks of pouring concrete. That's a big deal. So moms, wives, you go, okay, we kind of got a house. And then you can bring things along to make the fascias look just really good. And we have a little video of a, kind of a drone fly around. I got to repost it. I didn't do it after. I'll put it back on TikTok. And it really gives you a vision of, man, what if this community, this strategic community with people with shared values, really got to live in a space like that. And maybe it would feel a little Beaver Cleaver, maybe it would feel a little 1950s.
And listen, I miss Beaver Cleaver.
I do too.
I'm sorry, Walt? Man.
Ain't nobody watched the Beavers. The Beavers?
I think I've got
the
Beaver. Leave it to Beaver.
Leave it to Beaver.
Listen, man, I think I'm going to have to go dig that up and watch that.
I'm going to bring back
Gosh. Oh, Wally. Yeah, Wally and Beaver.
I can't remember the dad. Who's the dad? I don't know.
Oh gosh, what was his name?
I don't know, but he came home.
I can picture it.
There was always dinner on the table, ready to go. Yeah, we all wanted to leave it the beaver life. But I do like the aspect of those small communities where people lived maybe not too close to each other, but they lived in a place where everybody was coming over neighborhood.
Yeah.
How about Green Acres?
Green Acres is the place to be.
It's the place to be. That's it.
I grew up in the 80s. I actually remember the whole video game hitting because
Oh yeah.
in real time in the 80s, we would just go. I would disappear for hours with my friends, and we would go out in the woods. We'd all play it, and there was just a sense of safety, and I think that's part of what we're saying too, is that recreating that for the right, for people that want to be in that community, to have that, trust in knowing the neighbors, knowing everyone else, and creating.
That's the key, Richy.
Yeah.
That's the key. I know. I think it's for all of us here, right? You grew up in an area. You're outside. You rode your bicycle. Right. You went kind of everywhere in the neighborhood. Yeah. Right. And nobody worried, I'm saying? My mom didn't, it was just when it got close to dark, I know I needed to get home.
Yeah.
But we knew our neighbors, like you said, and that's kind of been lost.
Yeah.
A lot of communities, and in that strategic community, that's one of the things going to be important in the design, is that the way it is that these kids you don't have pass through. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? A lot of these communities built today, there are a lot of people just cutting through, right? Going through these neighborhoods, and that's where people are driving fast. They don't live there, right? Yeah. They're not going to see anybody there.
Right.
And that's when it gets dangerous. Right. You got to be intentional with where, the kind of like the woodlands.
Yep.
Obviously that was a master plan community, and you got trails and things where those kids can ride bikes.
Right.
And that's what'll be in there too. Yeah. The one that we can talk about is trails, right? Because we're developing in the country, right? But we're not developing too far out. We'll make sure that there's HEBs around and places to eat and things to do. But you still in a private area that there's safety for your children, that you can let them go ride their bike. Hey, I'm running down to Bobby's house, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, hey, be home before dark, right?
Yeah. Right.
Man, that's priceless.
That's awesome. Now, if I'm listening to this conversation about land, and I've got, let's say I own 50 acres of land, what's the process? Where do I go if I want to work with the Barndo Bros? What do I do?
It's a good
I've
question.
got 50 acres, and what do we got going?
Yeah. So what we do is in that situation, that's a good question, right? Is we work with special purpose entities. They're called SPEs. So if somebody has 50, 100, 250 acres that they're not doing anything with, right? And they're like, man, I'd love to see something done on this property. I just feel like God's calling me to do something with it, right? They can come partner with us. We can come in. They put the land up. We come in, do the development, and then we start building out, right? And then as the land sells, they get paid out every time a plot, right, is purchased.
Wow.
So it works good for them. Right, because obviously most of these people aren't going to have the development experience, the building experience, or maybe even the cash flow, right, to come in and put the roads in and bring the utilities in. So that's where we come in and partner and basically bring that dream to reality of somebody that has it. So if there's anybody out there that has property that's looking to do something like that, definitely send a message to Richy, to Geoff.
Yeah, and go to the barndobros.com. Just write us. You'll get our emails there, and also a way to contact us.
But that would be great, man, because that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to partner with people really all over the country. It's not just, we love Montgomery County, and definitely our heart's right here, but we also love the United States of America, right? And so we want to do that anywhere that's possible, right? Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Kansas, Colorado, just thinking of states that aren't too far from us. I mean, California would be tough.
Absolutely. And we'll be looking for it this week. We're going to have a new page on the barndobros.com that just says "Got Land?" ? And we'll have a little bit of information there. And there's a contact form you can fill out, and that'll get to us. So we'll have that up probably by the time you're listening to this.
Yes. Yeah. And we want to do this, guys, by the way. We want to do this like a mad dash. I mean, we really are looking for people to partner with on this. We really have some vision for doing this all around the country. And it's going to take people with land, right, that have that heart to come in and partner. Because then that takes when we don't have to go raise money for the land, it makes it that much easier to do that much faster. Especially if you're sitting there and you're on a good piece of land in a good area of the country, right? And there's a need for that.
Yeah.
Because if you live there, you know that before we know that.
Right.
And so if you're coming to us and saying, hey, I got this, right? And yes, I want to do something here for my community. We want to partner with you.
Yeah. I would say this too. We are not big developers. We are very small boutique developers that want to develop decent parcels. But man, it might be your dream. You might be sitting on land for a long time and you always thought about a way to help the community or people. Well, there's nothing better than somebody being able to purchase their own home. And there's a lot of first-time buyers. You know, I got a girl. If you're out there, I don't remember your name, sister, but she said, "Hey, I'm a first-time buyer. What would it look like if I bought y'all's acre behind your place?" And I said, "Man, we'd have to really work through that." And she goes, "I'd love to build a barndo. I've never bought a home, and I don't know our budget. You know what I mean? But what if we had a guy or a family with land, and we were able to put people in at a strategic pricing, at least on the land itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we can work with them on the build. I think that would be very cool."
Yeah.
This is not the bait and switch. This is the reality of trying to help people have a home.
Well,
Because
it really became a great conversation, not about land and about development and communities.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot to be had here. If you've got the land, reach out to us because, you know, I guarantee there's something that's going to fit just right, and we'll work with you and make this happen. I think it's going to be an amazing, amazing thing. Can you imagine flying our own drone over a community with about 30 barndos on 30 plots spread out, you know, about 1.5 acres, 2 acres each, you know?
I'm thinking
sports center.
We have our own landing strip. We're flying our own planes. Like, I mean, there could be some.
You know, I was just thinking about that. That's funny you said that.
Something interesting, right?
Where they have the landing strip and then you have your big hangars, right? And so, and that's, and
part
so
of your house.
Yeah.
Come on, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I would love that.
And you were just talking about yesterday wanting to get your pilot's license.
I did. And so I'm 43. There's no realistic reason why I would need to go get my pilot's license, but other than God has always called me to fly, right? And there's part of the goal of my life is to become a pilot. I've always wanted to be a pilot. We had a plane when I was younger, and I think we went broke and sold the plane. But there's always been this thing where I do want to fly, and I think now we have an opportunity with a friend who's got a plane, and we're going to do flight school, and I'm so pumped because I'm getting my opportunity. But I thought, man, what if we really had a landing strip? And he's in too. You know, he's like, man, we could put a little landing strip there, and we all fly in, and we all have little, 172.
And if Chelsea watches this, right?
Oh, yeah, Chelsea.
She wants to put a landing strip on her property
in Lubbock,
and so we can fly there. Right. And that can be kind of like, lunch, right? We're going to fly up to see Chelsea and her husband and have lunch, where we can land.
And if you're in Lubbock, Texas, hey, get a hold of us because we'll end up having a landing strip and we'll be doing some stuff out there.
That's right.
We are working. That's
a great area. And there's a lot of land there and it's not real expensive, and Lubbock's a neat town.
Right.
A lot of great people there. And so that'd be a great area. And that's one of the things too about a strategic community, right? We're close to Houston. We're on the north side, and land's expensive here.
Yes.
It's much harder here.
Yeah.
Right. But there's a lot of good places all around this country where land's less expensive. And like you were talking about, where we could come in and develop a community that would be more affordable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because stuff around here, you got to have pretty good resources to build and buy it. And what we're doing right now, like this sports complex community, these are $1 million type of properties when you add the land in, but there's a lot of areas where you can be building beautiful homes with land for $500,000.
Yeah.
Which is your typical median home price, I think, in the country right now is like $450,000.
Yeah.
Right around there. You could really be doing some neat stuff, have your own well, have your own septic. Solar's really come down a lot. There's good stuff. We know how to do solar a lot better. Unfortunately, there was a lot of bait and switch companies when solar blew up and you had all the subsidies that went out and charged people $80,000 but it should have been $30,000, and it didn't even power their homes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they just threw a bunch of panels up on a roof. Oh, look at all that. And people are like, well, my power bill hadn't gone down.
Wow.
It's like
bait.
Oh, Lord help us, Yeah.
Well, this is about the bait and switch today, and we're not into the switching, but we're going to give it to you like it is at the BarndoBros.com. If you want to partner with people that will continue to commit to being transparent, that have good vision, have good values, and believe in family, faith, come get a hold of us, thebarndobros.com. We'll love to talk to you.
Just final note too, for any of our specialists that are out there, we want to bring some new folks on the podcast. So getting some really cool voices in the community that are building or have some inside information about Barndominium development, anything like that. We're really trying to bring those folks in. So if that's you, let's do it. get in touch with us,
Reach
and we'll schedule something fun because we would love to get some more brainstorm. We only know as much as we know. You know what I mean? The more we get in here, the more we know.
Well, the more we can provide, because our job is we're a service company. So there's going to be people that have things to offer to all of us that benefit our viewers. So.
I will say we do have a special person coming in the podcast studio later.
Okay.
Our friend Randall Reeder.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know old Randy.
He's the best.
Old Randy. You've probably seen him in every movie. He really is in a lot of movies, but really he was in the last 3 Deadpool in the last week. He's in all the Deadpools, the 3 Deadpools. He's the big guy always beating people up in the bar. But he's a sweet brother, man. And I used to do, I still kind of do it, but I ran his marketing and all of his events that he had going on, you know, and I loved him. So he's coming in the studio to visit with us, and he's going to do a little Faith and Family podcast after this one. But he's also a Barndo guy, and he's really one of our original Barndo Bros, you know. And I don't tell him. So he's got a really big project he's working on that I can't talk about. So I'm going to bait him in on this next deal, and I'm going to say, hey, I heard about the new project. And
so we're going to pull the old bait and switch on him?
Pull the bait and switch.
Lord forgive us.
I'm going to say, you didn't tell me that you were working on this Hallmark project that said, will Santa bring me a Barndo? You guys can't see it. I got Randall's head on Santa Claus there and Hallmark marking on the bottom. But hopefully he'll go nuts on me. And
Genius marketing, Geoff.
But Randall's a good brother. So again, Randall Reeder, people that are trying to build, want to build. His heart is really to build back up in Carthage another, Barndo community for his family. They have an older Barndo up there right now that like to redo. So whatever, you could be a buyer, you could be a builder, you could be a provider, you could be a vendor. We'd love to hear your story, and we'd love to have you on the podcast.
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Click and share. Subscribe,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I always see that, right?
Yeah,
Everyone's saying that.
You want to subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube, and if you're listening to us on one of the podcast channels, Spotify, Apple, definitely subscribe. We'd love to walk this journey with you. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Barndo, cheers. Yay.
Yeah.